The Acolyte is just tragic. The newest episode completely blows out of the water what it means to be a completely dull and boring show. They, them, childish humor, a plot that absolutely makes literally no sense, and do I even honestly need to continue? We know that this is a tragedy. Honestly, it's not even an episode. The only thing that we got from this episode was a silent OSHA. I am your mother. And that's honestly it.
Unfortunately, I just got done watching The Acolyte episode 4, and let me tell you, it was as bad as you would expect. It was just a boring, pathetic, terribly written, bad dialogue episode, and on the surface,
Oh, the dialogue is just absolutely atrocious. There are so many spots in this episode where the dialogue is just like, yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. There's no rational thinking. There's absolutely, honestly, nothing. Osha suddenly is the best buds with the horned girl Padawan creature thingamajiggy. I don't even know what's her name. They're suddenly like super best friends. May the only thing that they proved in this episode, honestly, is in fact that May and Osha are twins because they're equally completely mentally deficient in the way that remember when Osha in the first episode was like, I'm just gonna turn myself into the Jedi, it's all gonna be fine, and then she runs away from them like an idiot. Well, well now, well now. May turns out is the same type of level of idiot. She's like, wait a minute, I could just turn myself into the Jedi. And then she's like, yeah, I'm gonna run away from them and look as bad as possible so the plot can continue. It's just sad. If the first two episodes were good because it was just monumental stupidity and monumental stupidity through action, these episodes are monumental stupidity, but there's no action. There's just a little bit of completely questionable dialogue. Which, how does this get past? A 5-year-old could do better dialogues than what we honestly get here.
not a lot happened, at least on the surface. It's just very much like walking and going from point A to point B, and nothing really happens and nothing gets accomplished. But
Yeah, it's true. The walking is absolutely terrible. It's the whole thing of time is just so bad. Everything just is, they just meet at the exact right moments. So May has a head start because they're going after the Wookiee. The Jedi need to go back to Coruscant, and then they need to talk it out and be aggressive, passively aggressive ones another, because that's what the Jedi do. They don't let the emotions be. You know what I honestly miss after watching this episode? Previously, the Jedi were, the dark side has returned. Yes, we must prepare because the dark side has returned. And they don't. They talk, but they don't. Go in conflict with one another most of the time. It's only on one-on-one situations, and usually it's someone who's not even a Jedi Master or something like that. But here, all the Jedi are just like, "You're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. You did wrong. No, you did wrong." There is absolutely no tact. Absolutely just no tact at all.
a lot was accomplished, not from a storytelling standpoint. No, because who's in this show for the story? This show wasn't made for story. This show was made for agendas and bullshit. And from that perspective, a lot happened because, as Chris Gore told us, we have pronouns in Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Pronouns are here. And basically, they got this cute little cuddly character that we can market and we can sell. And they introduced this character. And of course, OSHA's like,
it's a gerbil that found a Wookiee in a forest after they said, oh, yeah, the Wookiee, he hasn't been in this place for like 2 years or a year or something. And he's like, yes, my gerbil scent is gonna find him. Duh.
Who is he? Or they. And you're like, what the hell are we doing here? So, yes, introducing current day pronouns into a galaxy far, far away. This is what the Acolyte exists for. It's not here for story. It's not here to build the lore. It's not here to represent George Lucas.
Well, I'll be completely honest here. When the Acolyte got announced, I was not going to watch it for the lore and storytelling. I was going to watch it because it's just that level of bad. I am a Turo hate watcher. I love hate watching things that are horrible. The Walking Dead, all seasons, baby. Velma loved it. Okay, listen. If there's one thing I am capable of, it's hate watching things.
Lucas's Star Wars at all. So when people are breaking down, I mentioned this on Tuesday Night's Main Event, when people are breaking down dialogue, well, if this happened or that happened, none of it matters because it was never meant for that reason. This was meant to push agenda-driven bullshit. That is it.
Okay, let me give you an example of how just generally bad dialogue that is not agenda-based is here. May says, I'm gonna just join the Jedi now because, you know, my sister's back or something like that. And now everything I do is kind of meaningless because turns out my sister's alive. Like, that changed anything. I mean, girl, did you forget that you were the one who tried to kill your sister? Are we kind of forgetting that part? Maybe she's a bit pissed about you wanting, you know, killing her whole family and whatnot. Maybe you should kind of not just do a 360 here and, you know, keep at least, you know, think a little bit about yourself. But then again, she's wearing a chainmail in a galaxy far, far away with blasters and, you know, things. So that's obviously that's not going to work out for us now, is it? But in any case, she's like, okay, I'm going to just join the Jedi now. And the other guy is like, you can't join the Jedi because you can't... They're gonna put you in prison because, you know, you killed 2 Jedi Masters. He doesn't even say that, by the way. She's like, oh no, they're not gonna put me in prison after I tell them everything about my master that I know, which is, by the way, absolutely nothing, which is the hilarious part. Oh, they're not gonna put me in prison for killing 2 Jedi Masters. What do you mean? Of course they're not gonna put me in prison. I just killed 2 Jedi Masters. I'm completely fine. And Squid Games is like, Osha, your sister can be saved. They're still good at her. You know, she's just killing my friends and colleagues and whatnot, but trust me, it's all fine. It's all good in the hood. She can still be saved.
I mean, for crying out loud, look at the cast right here. This cast was made for having as little white males as possible in this cast. That is...
Listen, we actually saw one white male in the start of the episode, and that was this guy. Beautiful. I mean, yay.
What this is for. That's it. I mean, I'm glad the Techno...
he was the Jedi here at the temple, and he was, like, there for a whopping 10 seconds.
Viking found work. I'm glad the Techno Viking showed up in tonight's episode. But, I mean, it's just a diversity showcase. And again, as I've said, not a problem with diversity as long as that's not the predominant...
Well, actually, this is not really diversity. The fact that you're just trying to fit as many blacks and then a random Asian here and there is not really diversity.
Reason, and the predominant reason for this show is to be a diversity showcase. That is it. That's the only reason. And, of course, you are currently sitting at a 14% audience score right now.
Jesus, it just keeps going down.
And look, let me be clear. This episode on the surface, it's not as bad as episode 3. It's not even close to being the worst episode. It's not.
But it is the most boring episode because, again, nothing really happens. The whole episode is just nothing really happening, honestly. Stuff just doesn't make sense. Dialogue is bad and everything is boring. That's the reality of this episode. It's just a bunch of nothing. And then the not one of the moms, which is obviously the black mom, we all know that, right? Just, you know, many and pushes the Jedi back, and you know, that's cool.
Not a good episode. It's very boring and not a lot happens on the surface. But it's definitely nowhere near as bad as episode 3. Episode 3 is one of the worst television episodes in the history of existence. That is just the truth. This might have been, I guess just because it wasn't in your face bad, I guess this might be the best episode so far of the 4. But trust me, that is not a compliment at all. And as I said, something else happened. Now again, from a story standpoint, not a lot happened. But something did happen, and one of the
it honestly looks to me at this point that they're just trying to perfect The Walking Dead's cliffhangers. Because say what you will about The Walking Dead becoming absolute trash, you know what they did perfectly? And my god, no one has actually ever come even close to perfecting the art The Walking Dead did. Cliffhangers. The on the next episode of The Walking Dead, and then you see all of these moments, and you're like, oh my god, this actually looks like it could be interesting. And it's never interesting because it's The Walking Dead and it's trash. But they perfected that thing so good. And this episode, at least it left on a cliffhanger, which probably my assumption is going to be not even resolved in the first 2 minutes of the next episode, and it's just going to be like, she vanishes and says, Osha, come with me. Or something like that. And also, they planted the seed that May is actually completely innocent and she's not bad, you know? You know, her evil master's, you know, kind of keeping her being evil against her will and whatnot. And, you know, that's kind of a thing, obviously, duh. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But everyone knew. Everyone knew that at some point it's going to be like May has her redemption. And I say redemption, but everyone knows with the writing that we see here that the redemption is completely, literally, just impossible. There is no redemption. She might as well just one day wake up and be team good guy, and, you know, that would actually save time.
Things that we said was going to happen. Now, let me take you back to a game called Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 introduced a new character, Aiden, who was part of the Empire. And everybody was like, there's no way Lucasfilm's going to add a woman of color and keep her as an Empire, like on the Empire. Of course she's going to turn good. And guess what? She turned good, because there's no way you can have a strong, diverse woman who's just genuinely evil. You can't have that. No, no, no.
By the way, he's completely right. So my question at this moment is, how will the inevitable twist of, you know, Osha's and May's mom, probably the super black one, being alive, and how will they contextualize that as it's the Jedi's actual fault for all of these bad things happening? Because, again, the Jedi are evil, dumb, and incompetent in this series, and that is intentional. Well, how evil, bad, and incompetent they are currently is not intentional, but they're supposed to be the bad guys. You know, they're supposed to be not always good and whatnot. So they need to spin the mom actually being good somehow, and it being the Jedi's fault that all of this is happening. They need to do it some magically. How?
Oh, well, guess what happened tonight, ladies and gentlemen? For a reason no one can explain, there's no reason whatsoever. That from a story standpoint, from a dialogue standpoint, there's no reason that led to this decision other than the fact that, hey, I'm going to turn myself in. That's right.
Exactly.
The evil sister. The evil sister suddenly just like, hey, I'm going to turn myself in.
Yep.
Sorry.
I mean, I said that. But yeah, obviously. Everyone knew that she's going to become good at some point.
Not Sith man, who clearly...
And by the way, her relationship with Smilo Ren doesn't make any sense. Like, this episode made that relationship even more stupid, dull, and completely pointless. Because previously we assumed that she's the Acolyte. Did you hear that? That was the show's name, by the way. Very deep. Very thought out through, and very unexpected, by the way. Lucasfilms and Arts and Disney and whoever the fuck. Very cool. And, well, if that's her mom, obviously, which it is, right? I mean, they could do a double twist that, first of all, the helmet gets removed, and it is this 7-Eleven Ezra Miller. And, well, then the second twist is revealed that, haha, actually, no, this is a double bamboozle. It is me, your mom, still, obviously, duh. There's no world where it's not her mom. Everyone knows that. There's no point even hiding that fact. They might as well not have a helmet from episode 1 after we knew about what happened here. So, the thing is, so what? Does the mom hate May? Because, you know, she kind of looks at the ocean and, you know, stuff happens. But it's like, okay, so oh, May, the evil one, is not actually an apprentice of the Smilo Ren, and she's like in depth, and Smilo Ren will kill her if she doesn't do what she stole. Like, what the hell is this even? I completely don't understand.
Discount Ezra Miller, Dollar General Ezra Miller in this show is clearly the Smilo Ren guy. It's clearly him. It's
Yeah, again, I think it's gonna be a double bamboozle. Like, there was a chance that it could have been Smilo Ren before we saw episode 3, but after episode 3, again, it's gonna be the mom. Or maybe Smilo Ren is the Padawan of the mom or something like that, and he's just a proxy, and the mom kills him at some point because, reasons.
so obvious. The way that they're making this guy a bumbling, stumbling idiot and all of that, of course he's the guy. Of course.
Oh, by the way, small thing that actually I couldn't think it's, again, it has to be the mom, but when the helmet gets removed, it's gonna be him, but the mom is gonna be behind the scenes most likely at this point, or it's gonna be a double mask, or Sith alchemy, thread alchemy, thread of the power of many. Anyway, because a small thing that I noticed was when Squid Games was like, huh? When, he looked back and Smilo came in, Smilo was levitating. He was actually flying, not walking. And only later on he started walking when May saw him. So, considering our, discount Ezra Miller 7-Eleven was there, the fact that he can fly also means that he can get out of that trap very easily. Well, if he's, a force user, he can generally get out of that trap obviously easily, but you get the point.
Of course he's the guy, of course. With his little anyway, Dollar Store Ezra Miller, her friend, is clearly Smilo Ren the Sith. Clearly. Okay? But she sets a little trap for him, and he gets caught in the trap, and she's just like, I'm going to turn myself in. My sister's alive. I'm going to turn myself in. It's like, what?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Where did this come from? You know where it came from? It's because we can't have diverse woman be a bad guy. There has to be a reason why she turned this way, and we have now
again, we speculated this from episode 1. Let's completely be real here. Everyone knows that.
found it, and now the evil sister is no longer a bad guy. Just like Aiden, there was always something that was going to prevent her from being truly evil, because only white men can be evil. Only the white men can be the true evil. For anyone else
And only the white men can work in coal mines.
that's bad, there's always a justifiable reason that's led them down this path, and we're going to help find them to bring them back over to the good side, because at their heart, they're very good.
Yes.
Okay? At their heart, they're
After killing 2 Jedi Masters.
very good. There was just something bad that turned them to the dark side.
Yep.
And that's what we got tonight. That's what we got tonight. And this is how you end up at a 14%. So we got pronouns introduced in tonight's episode.
Big
and
win!
we see the evil sister
Big win for diversity. We did it. Woo!
suddenly, magically, for no reason whatsoever, magically, she's now turning herself in. She's going to turn herself in. She's going to expose her.
The turn herself thing is the most on the nose thing in an episode that doesn't make sense. But again, if you stop and think about any scene where they actually talk and there's supposed to be some kind of establishment of logic behind what they talked about, there is none. This is literally the campfire, roaring campfire in space from episode 1, but it's not space and it's not a campfire. It's the dialogue that just doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Her master, whatever. The whole thing is so bad. Now it ends on a cliffhanger.
Also, the reason why Osha actually has to go with the Jedi here again is because Squid Games wants to use her as bait to find May, and yeah, that's kind of it. That's it. They know that after the Wookiee, they established that, but they're like, no. We know she's gonna go after Squid Games or the Wookiee. And since Squid Games is here, she obviously is going to go after the Wookiee. We can't just, wait until she goes after the Wookiee and then catch her. No, we need to use Osha as bait so she magically just appears. Why does Osha work as bait even now, considering she's evil? I don't know. Well, maybe because the Squid Games thinks she's good after killing 2 Jedi Masters and most likely murdering a lot of innocent people. Redemption. I love redemption. Who doesn't love redemption here?
With Smilo Ren walking up to Osha and the other sister, and all the Jedi are there, and they all, pull out their lightsabers, and the Sith's there, and it's just a cliffhanger ending. It's the dumbest show on television, and it's not even close. I can't believe how stupid all of this shit is. It's mind-blowing to me.
Again, watching Velma, at least it's some kind of action and stupidity, which makes it hilarious in combo. But the Acolyte episode 3 and 4 is just boring, dull, and lame and stupid. There's no action where we can laugh about anything. It's just really bad dialogue, and that's effectively it. It's sad.
How dumb all of this is. But this is where we are. In 2024, this is Lucasfilm. The Force is female. This is Leslie Headland, Star Wars. Harvey Weinstein.
The man knows what he's saying.
His former personal assistant. And now
he knows. Everyone knows, at this point.
That we are 4 episodes in and we have the 14% audience score, the question becomes, how
can we push this to 9%?
much worse can it get? And I don't have the answer to that question. I believe it can get worse than episode 3, but that is saying a lot because episode 3 was truly a...
Again, dude, come on. There is gonna be some kind of failed explanation or attempt at making Smilo Ren the good guy. I think that's when we're gonna completely hit rock bottom. Or potentially... not Osha's flashback, but May's version of the flashback of the events that transpired. Because I didn't think about this, but yeah. I definitely think Disney would just do it. Oh, stone starts to burn, all the witches are just dead in a, Palmer of Many style circle or whatever. And May, that we're gonna get a May flashback, and then the Jedi are actually somehow magically actually responsible for what happened, maybe. And if that happens, that's gonna be the lowest point. It's either gonna be the May flashback that portrays the Jedi as actually evil, or it's gonna be how they try and portray Smilo Ren as the good guy, some magically how. I think that's gonna be either one of those is most likely gonna be the lowest point in my opinion.
Terrible episode, but it can get worse. But this episode, on the surface, not a lot happened. A lot of walking, a lot of cringy dialogue, a lot of...
I would say a lot of teleportation also happened. Also, the first thing that I noticed in this episode, because it was literally in the first minute, May lands with 7-Eleven Ezra Miller, and, well, what do we see? Oh, this planet has a jungle. It's no one lives here. Blah blah. And they go over a wrecked bridge for some reason, and it looks like there was a man-made canal there and stuff like that. So how the hell is that place non-mapped out or whatever? I don't even know.
Of stupid just interactions with the characters, and then ultimately, like I said, we get pronouns, and we have the evil sister, the diverse, evil, strong sister is now turning herself in because she suddenly, magically, in the snap of an instant, suddenly... She's a good person now. Yay. She's got to turn herself in.
She was a good person from the start, but your male evil gaze masculinity did not allow you to see that. Huh? Yeah, that's right. It all makes sense now. Or it even makes less sense. Pick one, honestly, at this point.
Dumbest show I've ever seen.
Oh, boy.
That's the latest on this crap. We'll break it down even further, but that's my initial thoughts coming into it. No notes, no anything. That's just everything off the top of my...
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, that was our good old boy geeks and gamers. What a time to be alive. Anyway, may the force be female and diverse.